Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's Tony from Safe Haven. I am finally settled into my new abode. I finally have the home office set up a little bit, / recording studio / gaming room. It's everything all in one. So I decided to take a little bit of time today and talk about why we go into no contact, or why we say it's no contact when you're dealing with a narcissist, or you're breaking up with a narcissist, or a narcissist has dumped you or discarded you, or whatever the case may be. Essentially, no contact works pretty much in any kind of breakup situation. Of course, it really depends upon the circumstances, whether or not it was mutual, whether or not, you guys have an actual respectful relationship. But that's only pertaining to relatively healthy individuals, not folks with NPD. Folks with NPD, with narcissistic personality disorder, even if they're undiagnosed, and even if they are claiming to be getting help and they have a therapist and yada yada, because that's the latest thing that I've been seeing, hearing, and know from experience. They'll try to say, well, at least I have a therapist and I'm getting help, and it's really not that bad. Nah, you're still a narc, right? So there's a couple of reasons why we go no contact when the relationship is over with a narc, or you got to cut it off. Now, if you have kids or whatever, the no contact changes to low contact, which means it's only discussing things about the child or children, arrangements, etc. Right? Only. So here's why you got to go no contact. Number one, narcs never apologize for hurting you. Never. They never. The only time I had a narc apologize was when I literally sat her down and said, listen, this is what I need you to say and understand. And she repeated word for word what I shared with her, but there was no connection behind her mind, and no connection in her mind about what she had done that had hurt me and warranted an apology. None. It was just like, you're this, you're that, you don't listen, you don't care, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Narcs do not apologize. Narcs they go through life with this warped sense of belief that what they do, what they say is correct. And if they hurt you in the process of carrying out these actions, oh well. These actions were warranted. Doesn't matter if they've hurt their children. Doesn't matter if they've hurt you. Doesn't matter if they've hurt other people in your family. Doesn't matter if they've even hurt themselves or put themselves back. They still feel, listen, my actions were warranted and they're fine. Okay. And it's a really slippery slope, because when you try to explain to them, hey, what you did was wrong, or, constantly cheating on me, or what you said was a lie, or whatever, they just flip it back on you. You're not listening. You don't care. This is what we've talked about before. They'll deny that they've said things. They'll deny that they've done things. They will make it like you're the crazy one. They'll gaslight you, and I have videos on being gaslit. All of that. But they will never apologize, right? They'll say things like, I'm sorry if you felt that I was hurting you. No, that's not an apology. Apology is saying, listen, I wronged you. I hurt your trust, and I apologize, and I'm willing to do what it takes to rebuild that trust. And here's what I'm going to do to rebuild the trust, right? They're not going to do that. Okay. Now we're going to segue into that. They're never going to apologize. You want to go no contact with somebody because they don't care how they hurt you. They don't care the pain that they brought you. They do not care. And you don't want to spend time or spend resources or energy or supply or reactions on someone who ultimately does not care about whether or not your feelings are hurt, does not care whether your family is okay, does not care whether your children are okay. They don't care. And they do not see how their actions have affected other people. So it's in line with like they never apologize. They don't care. The thing is that they go from dopamine high to dopamine high. When they come to you, there's a dopamine rush. So they'll say they love you, they want to be with you, all this other stuff. But as you know, with any drug, the more you use it, the faster the high wears off. So what happens, they come to you, I love you, want to be with you. They may be with you for a year, 2 years, a couple of years. Then the high wears off. Then they, boom, jump off into somebody else's into a relationship with somebody else. That relationship may last X amount of time. Then when they're between relationships or they get bored with this person, they come back to you. Hey, how are you? I just want to be in your orbit. Let me get you coffee. Let me spend some time with you. This, that, and third, right? And boom, they start getting high off of that. So they start coming around more. You let them in more. Next thing you know, the high starts to wear off. And they're off with the next person. They're being cold. They're rejecting you. They're being cold, or, they're lying, or they're, doing all these kinds of things. At the end of the day, you are just a hit of dopamine to them. Your reaction, your resources, your supply is just to get them that high. That's all it is. These people are addicted to other people, which means they will never, ever, ever be faithful to you. They will never, ever, ever be faithful to anybody else. They are only faithful to themselves. So the way to get them off of using you as a, physical or as a human heroin needle is just go no contact. Cut them off. That's it. You ain't going to reach out to me. No, I'm good. Now, the next thing is, remember I mentioned they get a dopamine high off of you, right? They get a high off of you even if you're being nasty to them, believe it or not. When you're arguing with them, going back and forth, they love that. I remember I was with an ex for several years, and we would get into these arguments that sometimes would last days. And I'm like, what the heck? Enough already. But she was getting her fill of supply off of that. Until I just cut it off completely. Like, nope, just one email when we need to discuss things about the children. That's it. They like the attention, positive or negative. They would prefer positive, but if they get negative attention, that works too. They just want to know that they still take up space in your mind and in your heart, that they still own real estate rent-free in your mental. They love that. And if they notice that they are no longer taking up space, that you're pulling away, that you're setting up boundaries, they're going to try that, right? If they see that you've evicted them from your mental property, they're going to come around and try to get back in. So they may do things like start a fight, or be really nice, or try to say things like, oh, I just want to come and help. I just want to spend time with you, etc. and so forth, and try to weasel their way back in. Because they like the attention. They like the dopamine rush that they get when they're around you. You're just a battery. You're just a gas station. You're not an actual physical person with feelings. So what they'll do is they will go cheat on you or break up with you or discard you and your family right before a major holiday, get with somebody new, throw that in your face and everyone's face, and then months later come back like, hey, I was just thinking about you. I wondering, how are you? Do you need anyone to talk to? We used to be best friends. You know what I mean? Because they're looking for that attention from you. It's not like they're repentant or they realize your worth, your value, and that they should have treated you differently. No, it's like, what do you have for me? Right? I need that good stuff. And you always give it to me, so cough it up. Once you put in no contact, that stops, right? That's done. And another reason why you want to go no contact with a narc is it segues, right? So once they come back in your own orbit, they may start to say things like, I realized I made a mistake. I realized that you were the one all along. I realize I still love you. I still have feelings for you, etc. So now they're starting to pull you back in, right? I went through that. And what happened was what always happens, this always happens, this is no exception. They pull you in, give you sweet lies, epiphanies, and I realized you were the one pulling you in. And once they have you, they spit you back out. I'm unsure about where this is going. I need to take some time and figure things out, right? Meanwhile, a day or two or hours before, I love you. I'm so grateful to be back with you. Blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, I have some feelings and unresolved issues I need to fix. And, all they're doing is they're just going right back to the person that they either left you for or cheated with you on, because they are looking for a dopamine rush. Now, you may realize, or I hope you realize, that usually the dopamine rush wears off the moment you hold them accountable for something. The moment you say, hey, that didn't feel good. The moment you say, hey, let's not rush into rebuilding. There's still some things we need to talk about. The moment you tell them that, the moment you set a boundary, they start looking for the next high. They start looking out the door. They start plotting their escape. They will pull you in just to spit you back in. Spit you back out, actually. They pull you in, spit you out. Don't give them any resource to do that, right? If you go no contact, they can't pull you in. They see you at a street light or a street fair. They see you around the neighborhood. They see you at your kids', organ recital. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't let them pull you back in. Now, the next reason why you need to do no contact is you need time to heal. You need time to break the bonds, the trauma bonds, the cognitive dissonance to heal. If you're constantly either looking on their social media or interacting with them in a way beyond what is absolutely necessary, hopefully if you don't have kids, whatever, just cut them off completely. If your kids are old enough, like they're adults and they're self-sufficient, definitely cut them off. There's no reason why you need to have them in your life, right? But the thing is that in order for you to heal truly, and in order for you to be present for your next relationship, and in order for you to fully come into who you are with a wholeness, you need to cut them off. You need to cut them off from the supply. You need to have them stop connecting with you. And you need to stop connecting with them, because that is the only way. That is the only way you're truly going to heal up from this. They're going to be who they are, and they're going to stay who they are. You got to focus on healing up yourself. So anyway, I hope those reasons for going no contact were pretty in depth. There's a lot of information out there as to how to do no contact, why to do no contact, what happens when they try to break no contact with you. There's a lot of resources and research out there. Please don't be fooled. In life, you're either going through it or growing through it. I hope this video helps you to grow through it. You all be blessed.